Hello and welcome to the Federal. There are two major protests planned in Delhi today. One of them has been underway since early hours of the morning. The other hasn't been given permission by the police administration and the local administration of Delhi. What are these protests? There's a protest by BJP workers demanding that Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, the Chief Minister of Delhi, who was arrested last week for his role or alleged role in the Delhi excise policy scam, should resign as Chief Minister. Remember, Mr. Kejriwal, despite his arrest, despite being in the custody of the Enforcement Directorate, has been defiant. He's refused to step down as the Chief Minister. The Aam Aadmi Party, his colleagues in the Delhi government, have maintained that Mr. Kejriwal will continue to run the government even if he is in custody or in jail. The other protest is by the Aam Aadmi Party. The Aam Aadmi Party had announced that it will gherav or surround the residence of the Prime Minister to protest what they are calling misuse of investigative agencies, central probe agencies like the ED, the CBI, the income tax, to target Mr. Kejriwal and to target opposition leaders at large in the run-up to the Lok Sabha elections. Administration hasn't given permission to the Aam Aadmi Party for obvious reasons that they should not be allowed to gherav the residence of the Prime Minister. The Aam Aadmi Party leaders have said that they're going to continue with the protest. If they can't do it outside the Prime Minister's residence, they'll do it on the way to the Prime Minister's residence and court arrest if needed. Similarly, the BJP leaders who've been protesting since morning, they were planning a march to the Secretariat, which is where the Delhi government is run from, the Delhi Secretariat, and major barricades and police bandobast had been done on that route from what is called the ITO crossing in Delhi to the Secretariat and the peripheral areas. We've just seen some videos of water cannons being used to disperse the BJP protesters. And one expects similar scenes to play out when the Aam Aadmi Party protest gets underway. Now, the basic issue here is not merely of the arrest of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. This was obviously something that the Aam Aadmi Party had been saying would happen for a long time. But the fact that this has happened so close to the Lok Sabha elections and at a time when the opposition for months or in fact for the last several years has been saying that the BJP government or Mr. Modi's government at the center has been using the ED, the CBI, and the Income Tax Department, as well as other agencies, departments of the government, for political vendetta against their rivals, for intimidating rivals. And of course, this is all in the public domain. There have been numerous instances where opposition leaders who've been accused of corruption or any of the other issues of impropriety by the BJP and were facing various kinds of investigation, have eventually joined the BJP, and those investigations have stopped. These are all issues that the opposition has been red flagging for quite some time. Now, what happens with Mr. Kejriwal's arrest? That there's, of course, the obvious question of whether he can continue as the chief minister, which the BJP has been saying he cannot. There are naturally issues with regard to morality, political morality, the ethics of it, of a chief minister being in custody and still running the government. The Aam Aadmi Party says that they can, and technically, as per the law, there's nothing that prohibits the chief minister from being in custody and not resigning and still running the government from there. In fact, earlier today, the Delhi government issued a press note from a secretary in the government, which mentioned how no services of the Delhi government, no functioning issues of the Delhi government will face any problems because of the arrest of the chief minister. And so the question here is political. What would the arrest of the chief minister, who's also the chief of the Aam Aadmi Party, mean for the Aam Aadmi Party, for the BJP, and the India bloc, of which the Aam Aadmi Party is a very prominent member in the Lok Sabha elections? Remember that the Aam Aadmi Party is in alliance with the Congress for the 7 Lok Sabha seats of Delhi. It's going to contest 4. The Congress is going to contest 3. They have an alliance also in Gujarat, where the Congress is going to contest on 24 seats. 2 seats have been left to the Aam Aadmi Party. So the Aam Aadmi Party's claim is that all of this is being done to stop Mr. Kejriwal from campaigning. Now, Mr. Kejriwal has often been credited with a certain oratorical flourish, and particularly during elections, when he's given back to his rivals in the same coin. That's something that the Aam Aadmi Party was banking on heavily for the Lok Sabha campaign. We do not know whether Mr. Kejriwal will be able to campaign for the party, whether his custody will continue well into the election season. But at least as of now, that's a major jolt for the Aam Aadmi Party, because their chief campaigner is not available to campaign for its candidates. But there's also a major issue here for the alliance, for the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress alliance, or the India bloc, which is contesting the seats in Delhi, particularly, as partners. So we've seen extremely vitriolic attacks between the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi before this alliance happened. So now the issue is with Mr. And remember, several of these cases against Mr. Kejriwal are cases in which even Congress leaders from Delhi are the petitioners, in a sense. The Delhi liquor scam, as well as there was what was called the snooping department or the feedback unit, which the government called the feedback unit. The opposition, the Congress at that point in time, called it a snooping department, in which again it's the Congress leaders of Delhi who are the complainants. And so it puts the leadership of the Congress in Delhi, as well as the Aam Aadmi Party, in a certain discomfort on how does the Aam Aadmi Party or how does the Congress explain to its workers at the grassroots that something that had been a major issue of tension between these two parties when they were rivals, how is that going to impact now that impact the polls, now that Mr. Kejriwal is actually in custody of the Enforcement Directorate? The BJP naturally is going to exploit that. But the bigger problem for the AAP and the Congress are the 13 seats of Punjab, where the two parties are not in alliance. The Congress is fighting all 13 seats of Punjab on its own. So is the Aam Aadmi Party. And then, of course, you have the Akalis and the BJP in Punjab. But then you have two very different kind of reactions from the Congress with regard to Mr. Kejriwal. One from the Delhi unit, which is towing the line of the central leadership, rallying behind Mr. Kejriwal, including someone like Mr. Sandeep Dixit, who never held any punches while attacking Mr. Kejriwal. He was among the first leaders to condemn the arrest. He is likely to be the Congress candidate from one of the parliamentary seats in Delhi. And naturally, it'll be difficult for him to put up a very strong fight if he does not have the support of the Aam Aadmi Party in his campaign. So his compulsions for supporting Mr. Kejriwal on this issue are rather obvious. But what happens in Punjab? In Punjab, you've seen over the last few days, ever since Mr. Kejriwal was arrested, several Congress leaders justifying the arrest, even while maintaining that the ED, the CBI, the IT are used for targeting political rivals of the BJP. They've said that Mr. Kejriwal is a corrupt man. They've said that not just Mr. Kejriwal, even leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party from Punjab, including the Punjab Chief Minister, Mr. Bhagwant Mann, need to be arrested for various cases of graft, corruption, etc. And that is something which is going to send very confusing signals for the Lok Sabha campaign. It's something that the BJP is naturally going to exploit. And the Congress hasn't so far been able to do a very good balancing act when it comes to how the Punjab leadership of the party is reacting to Mr. Kejriwal's arrest and how the Delhi unit has been reacting to it. Similarly, the Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab is also going hammer and tongs, criticizing the Congress or the Congress leadership of Punjab. And so while you may have the alliance at a national level, you may, the two parties may justify it by saying that they're fighting against the BJP. It puts both the parties in a rather precarious situation in Punjab or on the 13 Lok Sabha seats of Punjab. And so it will be interesting in the coming days to see how this actually pans out. What will be equally interesting to see is how the BJP spins this. As we all know, the BJP is great at, and it has a formidable electoral machinery to play up these kind of differences among its rivals. And we've seen that happen with various allies of or various partners, constituents of the India bloc, and how the BJP has used comments by one partner to actually hit out at another partner of the India bloc. So how does this play out now between this kind of confusion between the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress in the run-up to the elections, and how the BJP exploits it, is also going to, in some way, maybe not a major way, but in some way, determine the electoral outcome in both Punjab and Delhi. And that's something that one would need to watch out and look out for, how the BJP exploits this and how the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party, if at all, are able to overcome this.
Subscribe to the Federal's YouTube page for more news and updates.